So on this podcast, I want to go ahead and touch on the 3 things that stop a barber from scaling to 20K per month. And after been working with over 1,400 barbers and helping them scale over to well over 20K per month, these are some things that I've seen that hold a lot of barbers back, and it's almost like an Achilles heel, right? And every barber that I've helped grow and scale to like 20 and 30K per month, they've all gotten over these things. And to me, there's a principle or rule in this where if you see that this is like a level that's been passed by others that are more successful than you, therefore, you must be able to pass this level or this test or these things in order to get to that level as well too. There is no other way around success. There is a pathway and you must walk that pathway. You cannot go off in different directions and go off on a different path because it will not take you to that level of success. So the first one, for those of you who've listened to me on podcasts or YouTube videos, you heard me talk about this a lot. And yet many of you do not have this thing still. And it is so surprising to me when I talk to you on the DMs, on calls, as to why you do not have this one thing. Because this is where everything starts with. And the number one is not having a why. And when I say having a why, like why the fuck do you actually want to make more money? Now, when you think about this doesn't mean that you want to make more money because it's a cool thing. You want to have a cool lifestyle. No, motherfucker. What this is when shit gets tough, when you're in the fucking trenches, when you're in a rut, when you are just sucking and things aren't working out, why are you going to show up every fucking day and still do the work? Because at that moment, when shit is rough, and maybe you felt that as well too, right? Let's take this example. We've all been in like a diet or trying to maybe gain weight or hit the gym and get in better fitness and really push ourselves. You know that time, like first 30 days or maybe even first week, you feel fucking good, you're motivated, you're driven. But at some point in time, that drive and motivation wears off, shit gets hard, you don't see the progress you want to see overall. And that's where your why carries you. Because it is the easiest thing to just give up and go back and revert to being fine. Okay, it's what's called reverting back to fine overall. And many of you are still doing this because, why? Because you've never passed this level. And in life, I'm a big believer that life just throws a bunch of lessons our way until we actually wake up one fucking day and realize, hey, dumb fuck, this lesson is here for me to improve and solve and fix in my life. And I can't pass this level until I get past like this, until I solve this thing. And if you've been in the cycle and have yet to even think about this, wake up, motherfucker. All right? This is like the universe talking to you, dude. Like, stop bullshitting, right? You got to get out of your fucking head. Like, you know what you have to do. Now, I'm going to go ahead also in this podcast and give you ways to actually solve all of these 3 things that we could actually start making some progress on this as well, too, okay? Now, I've worked with barbers, again, too, where they say they want to make 20K per month because it sounds cool, because it's what everybody do. They want to be the cool fucking kid, right? But they don't do the work when shit gets hard. Because think about this. Why the fuck would you do the work when shit is just okay, or like there really is no reason to push through? Like, there's no reason of like, fuck, I have to get to this because XYZ reason. And I'll give you an example, okay? For some people, right? I was on a call with a guy actually today who just started working with an elevated mentorship program. Super excited about working about this guy. I'll actually talk about it a little bit later because there's another lesson that I learned that I was like, I got to talk to this on the podcast. But this guy, he's not financially well off, right? He's not doing like really great financially for himself. He's been struggling. He's been knowing about us for the last 2 or 3 years and been trying to get to a place to work for us. And I was like, dude, you've been trying to get into a space for the last 2 or 3 years. You've been making money. It's not like you have that crazy amount of bills. What was the final like tipping point for you to actually like get this thing going, hop on a call, and I'd be like, you know what? I'm drawing a line in the sand. This thing's happening now. And he told me this. Now, he's really big on family, okay? Really, he lives with his grandpa. He's a great sister, great family overall. He told me straight up that they live in Toronto, Canada, And for those of you who don't know, the Toronto Blue Jays, the baseball team, went to the World Series this year. His grandpa is apparently a really big Toronto Blue Jays fan. However, his grandpa is he's getting really old right now. And whoever been around a grandparent or a parent or anybody gets old, you kind of see the writing on the wall. It kind of gets to be like, fuck, kind of like fuck moment. And he said he wanted to take his grandpa to go see a World Series game. And he wanted to gift that to him because his grandpa has been like someone who's been kind of like the leader for the family. He wants to like give his thanks and show his appreciation because he's never been financially been able to do so. He's like, man, that would be such a great gift. And then he went to go look at the ticket prices. And he said, fuck me. I can't afford this because I literally have not done shit in my business to be able to get myself into a financial position to be able to give him that opportunity so I can give that to him. That pain right there, that hurt, that realization, that is the thing that will push you forward in this business. That will drive you through because you will never want to live that pain or have another moment pass you up again. That's just one example. Another example is for me personally, right? I didn't want to be a broke fuck. I thought it was the worst thing possible. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to live an average life. I grew up in Sacramento, California. And everybody there just was living a very average life and living with okay. And I was like, I'm not okay with what everyone else here thinks is cool and thinks is like winning. Having a family, growing up, having a stable job. I was like, that is not cool. Making 460 per month. I was like, I do not want to be like these people. I know I'm fucking different. And that was my fucking why. Because every time it got hard, because every time I didn't want to do the work, every time I didn't want to fucking make content, didn't want to work on my business, I came back down to that. I will not allow myself to live a fucking terrible life because that's the decision I'm coming up against. Either I can stop what I'm doing and not do the work and just sit on the couch and do fuck all. And I am choosing to stay and live the average life that I don't want to live. Or I can push through and go and get closer to getting out of this hellhole for myself. And every single time that I came up against a hardship, every time I came up against such situations that were hard, things I didn't want to do, the work I didn't want to do, I was tired, was stressed, I came back down to that one core point. And that pushed me. Just like it'll push that other barber we just started working with. Because every time it gets hard for him, he's going to remember that pain of, I am not going to feel that pain ever again in my life, and I do not have time to fix this. It could be as well to have worked with barbers where, hey, they got a couple kids. They've had to tell their kids no on certain things. They've had to tell their kids, I can't get this because we can't afford. We can't go on a trip because we can't afford that. We can't go to Disneyland. And that pain of telling their kids no over and over for years finally breaks them and be like, enough is enough. I'm not doing this anymore. That is the why. You have to think about like this as well too. I'll take another example before I go into how to fix this. So, there are like obviously guys who play NFL football, right? They make it to the guy. Like there's a lot of talented motherfuckers, but people who make it in NFL have a big why. Even in baseball, they have a big fucking why. Anybody who's in sports who's really fucking good, to get that top level, they have a big why. I'll give you an example that really like stood out to me. So hopefully all you guys know who the fuck Deion Sanders is. If you're not, you're probably fucking whack. Know somebody on there's like, oh, he just called me whack. Sorry, right? If you don't know who fucking Deion Primetime is, that's insane to me. But Deion Sanders, head coach of now Colorado football overall, he was talking about what he looks for when he recruits kids to play on his collegiate team, right? And he talks about he wants a kid when he's looking at two different kids when he looks at offense, when he looks at defense. When he's looking at a defensive player, if he has two kids who are, same type of skill set, same type of ability, he is going to recruit like all hell and go hard on the kid who comes from a bad background, single mom, who comes from the slums, who comes from nothing. He's not going to take the privileged kid. He's not going to take whatever. He's not going to take like the kid who had a great family background, who had two parents, had a great household, great family life. He's not recruiting them once he goes to their house to find out what this kid's like. He stops. He only goes hard on the kids on defense that have that poor background. And the reason why is because, and he said this as well too, Dion said, kids with bad backgrounds like that, especially single mothers that grew up in a single mother household who had to struggle, they are going to fight like hell on defense to make sure they can make it to the league. They got a different hunger. That's the why I'm talking about, right? He says kids with good backgrounds, kids that like obviously have good families, grew up in a great household, great little suburban place overall. He only recruits them on offense because they need to know how to work together as a team. But when you need to go in attack mode, we need a fucking dog on your defense that's going to take somebody's head off. Again, think about it. Defense, you got to be a little crazy motherfucker because you're out there. You don't even care about the ball. You're going out and hitting a motherfucker in the mouth every single play, right? That is your job. He wants a dog. And to do that, when you have other 6'6", 250-pound fucking SEC guys that were recruited to go to Alabama, like going against you, yeah, you got to have a little bit of that why, like I'm going to get my mom out that place and buy my mom a house and put us in a better position as a family. That's what he's looking for because those kids got whys. Because when you need to go on attack mode, which you have to in business, you need to be a dog, and that comes from your why. And making more money just because you want a better life isn't a why. Because at the end of the day, where is your drive? It's not a why that's going to push you through the hard shit. And that pain, that anger, that agony, it really stems from pain. I don't want to feel this thing anymore. I don't want to be in this position anymore. And you have to really hold that thing tight. Those things are like it's like your sacred realms of scaling, or like your emeralds of scaling, your gems, right? Then you just hold tight on your tool belt and call on those things whenever time gets hard. Because it will get hard. You know for damn sure it is going to get hard trying to grow and scale your business. Now, how do you fix this if you don't have a why? And most of you don't. And if you think you do, I would still recommend you do this practice. Simply this. You can take an hour out of your day. Block it off. You can take 30 minutes. Go somewhere where it's quiet. Put your phone away with zero distractions where you won't be scrolling. Sit down and spend that hour, that 30 minutes, whatever, every single day, writing down what the fuck you want and why the fuck you must have this, and that you will kill anyone to have this, right? Why you will go to war to have this thing. Because, get this, and this is why I say you need to do it every single day. Because the first couple of days, you're going to go in this area for, I want to do this because I want to help little kids in like Ghana, and I want to go ahead and fucking, make it rain sprinkles all day long. That's bullshit. You're not looking for that. You're looking for that hard-nosed, gritty, that ugly reason. And here's the thing. No one's going to fucking see your reason. So you can be as unapologetically you on that paper. And I don't think enough of you are that to yourself. You're not enough unapologetically yourself at all. You withhold yourself because, I got to look for good for other people. Motherfucker, your why is for you. Your why is to get you moving forward. Who gives a fuck if it's nasty, if it's dark, if it's mean, if it's arrogant? It's not for anyone to use except yourself. You don't have to tell another motherfucker that winning doesn't care what things look like. It just matters about how do you actually win. So that's point number one. Getting a little fucking hungry now, getting hyped up on this motherfucker. All right. Number two of the three things that stops a barber from scaling 20K per month. And look, especially to my guys out there, all right, my boys, these things will literally destroy your life. Not just your business, but your life in general. It is distractions, it's vices, and it's your bad habits. Now, this can be a plethora of things. The majority of my guys, or anybody in general, it's going to be around these things of weed, alcohol, women, and doom scrolling. Personally, I've never known a business owner that can sustain success over an extended period of time at a very high level that has any one of these present in their life. Never. Again, this is a level that all successful individuals, doesn't matter if you're a barber or a business owner in general, we always have to overcome these things. If you do not, even if you do have success, it will be very short-lived. Because the distractions with more money, the habits with more money, the vices with more money will destroy you. You do not want that. And for example-wise, Look at Mike fucking Tyson. This guy used to be on top of the fucking world, untouchable, making almost $30 million in one night. And basically blowing it all due to distractions. Blowing it all due to vices. Blowing it all due to bad habits. Like, again, I'm 31 years old, right? About to be 32, actually, coming up on the 19th of December. If you guys want to send me a fucking birthday message or a fucking birthday present, I'm accepting Zins, I'm accepting insulin needles, and I'm accepting gum. And maybe some incense sticks as well, too. Those are my top 3 things. But besides the point, Mike fucking Tyson, right? Blowing all that money. $30 million one night he made. And still, back in the early 2000s, this motherfucker was dead broke. It wasn't until the Hangover movie when Mike Tyson started making a comeback. I remember seeing Mike Tyson in the Hangover movie. And back then you're like, what the fuck? This guy's kind of like a washed up wannabe. Why is he doing this? It was almost like a joke. But now Mike Tyson has built himself into a media mogul and really made a hard comeback. Again, these distractions, vices, and bad habits will destroy you. They have already destroyed your life. You're not where you want to be at. And if you understand how to get over these things, which I'll tell you how to do, you can have everything you ever wanted. You can have the life that you actually deserve instead of living in this hellhole. Another example for my football boys, Johnny fucking Manziel, Johnny Football. Great example that you guys seen as well too. Guy had it all. Huge success in college. Goes off, bad habits. He could get away with it for a little while in college. He could go out and party. He can go out and do all this stuff where he's showing up a little bit drunk on the Saturday morning practice, overall Saturday morning walkthroughs or Friday walkthroughs. But that shit didn't fly in the NFL. It caught up to him eventually. And he crashed and fucking burned. Jamarcus Russell, again, NFL quarterback. Bad habits and vices. Drinking the fucking lean. Not watching fucking game tape. Number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. I remember that draft as well too, actually. It's crazy because I was playing baseball at the time. My favorite team is the Minnesota Vikings. I was so hyped we got Adrian Peterson. And I had no clue what that would turn into, besides the point. But Jamarcus Russell, which I thought Brady Quinn was a better quarterback coming out of the collegiate level at that time. But, he dropped the Browns, besides the point as well too. Jamarcus Russell had everything going for him, except they got drafted to the Raiders. But he had the most guaranteed money contract overall. It was an insane contract. And he blew that all the way. He was out of the league in 3 years. This is what distractions, vices, and bad habits will do to you. And the biggest thing is if you do not identify these things, if you do not look these things in the mirror and face them and conquer them, they will tear your business down. Again, I've never had a barber who have grown and scaled to over 20 or 30K per month have any of these things. Ty Nguyen, no bad habits, no vices, no distractions. Henry Hong, nothing as well too. Joel Thompson, nothing as well. South Bay Chris, nothing as well. Nicola Rajano, nothing as well. Brando Blends, nothing as well. Jericho Carrata, nothing as well. And it's not by mistake. When I started working with these guys, yeah, they had some bad fucking habits, but guess who fucking beat the hell out of them? You want to talk about who had bad habits? Ivan Salazar, Ivan the Great. Had bad habits of vices of going, I'm not going to speak on his bad habits actually, but had some bad habits, right? I remember just berating him on a Q&A call, berating him on a call of dude, what the fuck are you doing? And it was literally after that call when he dialed the fuck in and grew and scaled his business. Again, he went from 0 to 10K per month in 30 days in Dallas, Texas. This is what my whole goal of the New Era Barbering is. This is not just a company where, again, or a coaching company where, we help barbers go viral. No, this is literally helping barbers develop themselves into well-rounded entrepreneurs. You have seen time and time again from any of the guys that we worked with, Lexi Michael, Ty Nguyen, Jericho Carrata, all these guys, Henry Hong, Joel Thompson, all these guys have developed themselves into high-level entrepreneurs. Why? Because we fix these things for them. It's not just scaling the business. It is going the next extra mile, keeping you accountable, cleaning your damn life up. Now, understand this. Mike Tyson, Johnny Manziel, Jamarcus Russell. We can all point and laugh at him. You can even name other people as well too. But guess what, motherfucker? That's just you in a different sport. That's you as a barber in a different sport. That is you as a barber in a different sport. You don't have as much attention on yourself, but that is literally you. Now, how you might go about fixing this overall. You need to be okay in silence. Distractions, vices, bad habits only happen if you take action on them. Being in silence and being okay being by yourself are the things that will really claw you out of this. Because most people use these things, distractions, vices, bad habits, to cope with pain, to cope with hurt that they're currently going through. But what you don't understand, all that pain, all that hurt, is going into the wrong things. If you take all that pain, you take all that hurt, and you point it back to your business, guess how much free ammunition and drive and focus you will have. You have that why to conquer yourself. Think about a guy like Tom Brady. That guy had such hurt and pain by being selected in the 6th round with the 199th pick. And he channeled that into all of his focus into becoming the best quarterback, best almost athlete to ever live. Best quarterback for sure, best athlete, debatable around what you call an athlete. Besides the point. Getting a lot besides the point of this podcast. But you have to be okay with being by yourself. If you do not fix these things, right? And I know this might be like, but Daniel, this is just like, this ain't business advice. Yes, it is, motherfucker. Look, how you do one thing is how you do everything. How you show up in your personal life, how you take care of your health, how you take care of yourself is how you're going to take care of your goddamn business. Again, nobody has business problems. We have personal problems that bleed into the business. Now, how do you go about fixing this? Well, my personal favorite is going cold turkey on things, right? I flip back and forth between let's say a progressive overload or going cold turkey. In my personal opinion, depending on what distractions, vices, or bad habits are, going cold turkey is the best thing. Now, cutting these things out of your life will create a lot of space for being alone and being in silence. That's good. You should not move away from that. You need to train your discipline in that moment. You need to think about it like this. Is this what you want your son, your future son, to grow up to be like, to struggle with? Is this the person that you want him to look up to? Because if you do never fix this in your life, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because you're going to be a dumb fuck at some point in time and knock up some girl when you're not financially well off and bring a kid in this world and teach him and imprint on him this individual who's not going to develop a good man. You are literally going to recreate the cycle that's been happening in your family for years. Think about it. Why are you the way you are right now? Because your dad, because your mom, because your family. There's some cycle that's going on. And you have to break that at some point in time. You literally have to break the cycle yourself. It is on you. And everyone after you is depending on that. And all you have to do, think about this, just cut these fucking things out. These things don't help you. These things don't help your business grow. Again, no barber who's ever scaled to $20K per month has ever had any of these things rule their life. They've all been able to beat these things. You don't make $20K. People are like, 20K per month is unreasonable. Yeah, it might be unreasonable for a motherfucker who's distracted, who has terrible habits, and who has bad vices all the goddamn time. Damn for sure it's impossible. But somebody who's focused, locked in, doesn't have any of that shit, that motherfucker's a dangerous fucking weapon at the end of the day. Now, the third and final item that stops barbers from scaling to 20 or 30K per month. And again, this has been something I've mentioned before, but it is being okay with just okay. I'll give you a little breakdown on this. So today I talked to a barbershop owner who we talked about again too, what's his main struggle with a lot of barbers he works with, who he hires. And he told me a lot of the barbers he hires into his shop, those first 30 days, they come in, they're fucking locked in. They're fucking motivated. They're fucking driven. They want to make money. But after those first 30 days, after they start making some money, after they start seeing a little bit of money come in, they start missing work. They start running late. They show up drunk. They don't give a shit. The drive is gone. If your drive is, like literally, think about this. If your drive can be bought, your little internal motivation can be bought and paid for making $5K per month. What type of weak shit is that? What type of mentality? Like you are literally, that is literally the devil paying you $5K per month for just staying complacent. And that's the literal devil paying you that's all it takes, huh? Not that much. Motherfucker, you better fight. All for what? 4K per month? 6K per month? There's motherfuckers out here who are making 6K a fucking second. Jeff Bezos, I don't remember how much he makes, but he makes some odd million per second. Insane amount of, maybe not a million per second, but maybe. I don't doubt it, but it's some insane amount of number that you're just what the fuck? Complacency is a devil in disguise that's been plaguing you and your family and your legacy for years. Now, complacency is a devil. He's not going to kill you today. It's going to make you feel good today. It's going to make you feel like you're doing a good job. It's going to make you feel like, man, you know what? You deserve that little rest. You deserve to go ahead and scroll on TikTok. You went ahead and made 6K per month. Good for you, little boy. But it's the knife that is slowly digging into you month after month, year after year, twisting itself over the years until one day you wake up and you realize you fucked up. An example of this is a barber who I was on call with who is in a fucked up position financially, put it pretty blunt. And he has 5 kids, unfortunately. Single dad, just going through a current divorce. And over the last couple of years, he thought he was okay financially. He's working 2 jobs, works an overnight shift, and does barbering just to keep everything going on. Respect, right? Respect that. Put it on his grind. But he never pushed his barber business. My question is, why the fuck are you working 2 jobs and I don't have a full-time barbering business after being a barber for 20 years? And this is what a lot of OG barbers are like, complacent. And this is what you guys will listen to all day long and take advice from, is complacent motherfuckers. Now, unfortunately for this individual, because he thought he was comfortable, thought shit was A-okay, paying his bills, doing A-okay, guess what happens? Life fucking happens. The unexpected happens. Unforeseen bills. Bad circumstance that's always going to for sure happen in your life. And now he's in a fuck place financially because, again, it wiped out, it put him in a very bad position. I always talk about it like this. You need to stack up a war chest. A war chest is basically money in the bank, and you need to have that as high as possible because guess what? One day, motherfucker, war is going to happen on you. War is going to happen on you. It's going to happen. It is going to come attack your mental space, your mental stability, your personal stability, your relationship stability. It's going to attack everything. And you better have that. The only thing that's going to save you when war comes is that war chest, is that bank account to kind of go over those times, to give yourself some time to where you don't have to stress about money and you can just focus on whatever you need to focus on. And I don't think a lot of barbers understand this is always going to happen. These things happen all the time. No one is susceptible to this. You are going to have a catastrophic event happen to you. Will you be prepared? Because if you're not, you'll be fucked. Now, how do you fix this? Simple. You always need to think like this. Always be paranoid. One of my favorite quotes, Alex Hormozi talks about it as well too. It's from a book. But it goes, only the paranoid survive. And what this means is the paranoid ones are the ones who are always stressed out about what they have done and always worrying of that it's never been enough, Well, everyone is going to give you praise of like, oh man, you're doing so good. No, motherfucker, I got to keep going. I got to fucking go. I can't stay fucking here. What are you talking about? I'm not safe. While other motherfuckers from below you who are going to fuck themselves eventually because they're comfortable, like, man, you're doing so well. Don't buy into that bullshit. It might come from other people. It might come from your spouse. It might even come from you, motherfucker. But don't buy into that. Now, what I don't mean by being paranoid is like being a schizophrenic. Okay, we don't need any motherfuckers in mental hospitals because they listen to no bullshit podcasts. All right, I don't condone that shit. But what I do mean is you need to be a little bit more paranoid. Charlie Munger has this great quote. I believe it's Charlie Munger overall, but I think it might have been Jeff Bezos, one of these guys. But it's a beautiful quote, right? If you are stressed out and worried, calm down just a little bit. If you're calm and not stressed out at all, then you need to fucking worry. Actually, I think that quote was by Ray Dalio from one of my favorite books by Principles. And basically what that quote means to me and like what I take away from that is if you're someone who's just like, oh man, it's chill, everything's all good, you're the motherfucker who needs to stress out the fucking most, right? Because you think it's all good, you're not going to push. Because you think it's all good and everything's all fun and oh my God, you're not taking shit seriously, you are the motherfucker that's going to get wiped out. The motherfucker that's always paranoid about being wiped out, it's probably they're going to be on their shit. They're going to be like on top of like what they need to be doing with their discipline because they understand that, right? Now, as a level, of course, you don't need to be a schizophrenic paranoid where you're in a fucking corner worried about everything, wearing tinfoil hats, right? Don't get to that level. Cool it out a little bit. But you need to be always living in that constant state of, oh my God, this is not good. Because I've seen it time and time again where people think they are good. You can look at this as family members. You can look at this in people you grew up around, in people in your neighborhoods. The people who never stress are like, oh, I'm just grateful for things. They're in the most fucked positions. Even if they don't show you, behind closed doors, because everyone wants to put on a good front. And I'll be honest with you. Behind closed doors, those motherfuckers are dealing with something that you will never know about because they want to keep up an image. You have to always stay paranoid. Do not be okay with just being okay. If you are able to beat out these three things, you can grow and scale the business, get everything you wanted. But you have to have the why to push you through the lows. You have to go ahead and maneuver around the distractions, the vices, the bad habits. And you have to beat out being okay with just okay. Because that greatness never lives in any of those three things. And those three things, again, for myself, working in the Elevated Mentorship Program is something I hound on with everyone who I work with. And why you see such great success. And I think there's a guiding principle behind this. If you see other motherfuckers who are successful, learn how they think, learn how they act, and you shall have similar results. If you do not, if you act an opposite of them, you will have the opposite results. And we've been growing and scaling barber businesses in the New Era Barbering Elevated Mentorship Program for the last 5 fucking years. I dare someone to have the same track record as me and what we've been able to do as a company. You've seen it time and time again, yet you still do not take action. And my question to you is why? You've been seeing this for a minute. Maybe you just saw this yesterday and you tapped on this podcast. My question to you is why? Why are you waiting to take action? Why are you waiting until you're in a shitty enough situation? Because the last thing you need to be able to do is be in a terrible, shitty situation where everything's crumbling down to finally take action. Be prepared. Prepare yourself for these times. Scale the business. Get the help, get the guidance. Because here's the thing. If you knew how to grow and scale the business to $20K per month, you'd already fucking be there. If you don't, you better fucking find out how to grow and scale a motherfucking business and get the help. The only reason why I'm where I'm at today in my life is because I've always been I've always let my pride and ego down about getting help. Being selfish, being prideful will always be another devil of you that will bring you down and will hold you back from getting the help you need. And until you overcome that, you will continue staying in the same place where you're at. Because nobody's achieved anything great by themselves. No one is like the word self-made. That's bullshit. I've never even said a word to anyone. Never uttered that word is self-made because I know for myself, I've always stood on the people before me. I've always learned, been a student, gotten help. And if you're a barber right now who actually needs the help, my question to you is, why are you waiting? So if your barber actually is done waiting, actually wants to take that step forward, I will leave a link down below in this podcast to book a call with me personally so I can walk you through how we can help you grow and scale. My question to you is, why delay on that? Why are you going to delay and stay in the same loop? You're going to continue the same cycles in life until you actually get over whatever that fucking thing is. Maybe it's like, oh man, I'm just nervous. I have fear. Oh my God, like, what if this doesn't work? What if it does? What if at the end of the day, and you've heard a lot of customer interviews, I've heard so many barbers on customer interviews before, they're like, man, I was thinking in my head so much about what if it doesn't work. And the day I started thinking, what if it does, is when I made that jump and why I changed my business and my life. And why are you holding yourself back from the same? Fix these 3 things. And I'm going to tell you this, just because you fix them, it's not like you fix them once and it's a done deal, you never fall back into them again. These are things that you are constantly fighting every day until the day you die that will try to drag you down. These are the devils that will try to drag you down. So my question to you is, why are you going to continue to suffer in these things and put yourself through these bullshit? Why not go ahead and beat these motherfucking things out? And with that, I'll see you guys in the next podcast.